How different is it going into an approach for a game after playing them 4 times?
Well, I mean, the trying to close a series is always the hardest game. That's the way you got to look at it for our end. And your mindset's got to be the same. I don't think we have to be so desperate that, like, oh my God, if we don't win, we got to travel back. I don't think you think that way. I think you just think that we have to get to our game. We know what we have to do better for today's game. That's really what it comes down to.
How important has Adam Foote been for the defense core throughout these playoffs, especially, like you said, with matchups and playing the same team so many times? How important has Adam Foote been for your coaching staff?
Yeah, the calmness with Footy. He's a very calm guy. Whether in game or after the game or the next day, his teaching, he's really good at telling stories, whether with his video or even in moments of just relaxing. I think he, when you have won 2 cups, he's been on some Canada Cup or the Olympic high pressure games, and I think he's really good for our defense.
Who's your starter for tonight?
Game time. I usually tell you guys, but this playoff stuff, I was told it's game time. So.
JT said that a lot of the issue with the team not getting a lot of shots is it's a lot of one and done situations. We're getting one shot but not winning the puck back. How do you address that heading into this game?
Yeah, it's something that players, for me, they hear me all year. It's body position first. We're going for the puck first, and if you gotta. This is where tonight you got to go into the body to get the puck, then the puck. These are the type of games where I really need players to listen. We have to have an attitude, and because Nashville, they're not going to change. They're going to come at us, and if we don't come up with loose pucks, doesn't matter what system you have. Yeah.
You were able to take advantage of that at 6-on-5 in the previous game. Having players behind that, how do you take that into 5-on-5 and take advantage of them looking to front?
Yeah, I think it's important you have that anchor in front, but we call it that second stick. You got to find that area where they're going to come out and be the blocker, but the guy whether it's to the side or to the far side, you got to shoot for that second stick mentality. You got to be careful because then if you start telling them that, then they'll leak away from that. The other guy leaks, so one guy has to be the anchor. And you know what? Sometimes you got to take the shot too. If you got 15 feet of separation, the guy wants to block it, it's got to hurt. You can't defer and alter your shot. But I think the second stick helps, and I think that those 6-on-5 goals helped us. Best being to the side there, that was big.
Going back to your goaltending situation, which I know is your favorite discussion topic right now.
Which one? Sorry.
Your goaltending.
Oh yeah.
What goes into your decision tonight? Is it all about health or is it about performance? What do you base that decision off of?
It's a good question. I think both. I think you look at where that person is injury wise. You talk to the doctor, you talk to the trainer, and then you talk to him. I mean, there has to be a 3-way conversation, and then you just make your decision.
And I don't think we've asked you what exactly is the injury with Casey? Upper, lower, sideways? Lower.
Rick, sorry, I'm going to do the tricky thing once more with your goaltending situation, but I'm really going to try and do it I'm not trying to trick you here.
Okay.
Presumably it's a game time decision between DeSmith and Seelovs, but in the event that DeSmith is not your starter, will he be your backup? I.e., will those two be your goaltenders dressed tonight?
Well, I'll put it this way. Casey had a good day yesterday, and so, I would foresee if he did not play, he'd be a backup.
And there's often talk after like a loss or a losing streak about managing your emotions or having a short memory. When you're coming off the emotional high of a win like your club's on Sunday, is the same thing true? Do you need to have a short memory in terms of refocusing for a Game 5?
Yeah, the positive of the last game, we know we could have played better. I think our antennas are up a little bit more. If we played a great game and won, maybe you as a coach are a little bit nervous for tonight's game, but because we know we didn't play our A game, and I think our antennas are up, like we have to play better, you feel more comfortable going to this Game 5. Let's put it that way.
Rick, you look at your goaltending situation, and you've used 3 goalies. I mean, Ian Clark, the job that he's done, not only here, but I mean, down in Abbotsford, they're in a game 3, and Shevchenko or whatever, 47 saves. I mean, it goes all the way down. Just the job that Ian has done in terms of preparing these guys ready to play.
Yeah, I didn't know much about Clarkie when I got here. He's dialed in. I don't really worry about the goaltender. He'll give me the information, then we'll make a decision on it. Obviously, it's ultimate on my call, but I get unreal information, and he's really good at picking a goalie's weakness and working with it, and then not being awake. Because I think he's done a hell of a job with Casey Smith this year, changing some of his game. Obviously, Thatch and him have an unreal relationship. And then Artie, I think he's really built a relationship this year. So, he's done a fabulous job for us.
Quinn Hughes has taken a lot of physical punishment in this series in previous times. I mean, you could slow down a forecheck with a little obstruction. What can you do in this game now in terms of trying to slow down that forecheck and not allow them to have as much speed going into the zone?
Well, keep the puck more in their offensive zone, like we were talking, one and done. When you're one and done, teams get it, and now they're on the go. And whether they rim it in or they chip it in, then all of a sudden your defense are at heat. So if we can be better, even 50% at having more pucks, maybe getting in front the odd time without taking a penalty, I get it. And then moving the puck quicker, our D to, like instead of massaging it, I think right there is a recipe where they're not going to be as on us as much. I think those 3 things we can get better at.
Rick, you've won 3 of the 4 games, so the guys are finding a way to get the job done. I wonder, have you considered Vasily Podkolzin for this series at any point?
Yeah, he's always a possibility, for sure.
Is there value for a young guy being here around the group, seeing NHL playoff action firsthand, when he could be playing playoff hockey in Abbotsford?
Yeah, well, if he doesn't play that, we'll probably he's a guy that will go play a game, and then we can always have him come back because of the rules. But yeah, he's definitely got to go play a game for sure, and we've talked about that. Exactly what you're saying.
But what about the benefits to him just seeing this up close and personal and being around this environment?
Short term, I think it's great, but if he's not playing for weeks at a time, then he's got to get some games in. But that's not he's always available. But I think it's important that he plays some games in a playoff style, which could be Abbotsford.
Puck wouldn't cooperate as he went.
That's a win.
This is the way.
I hate roller coasters.
I feel fun.
Generational talent. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.